Express News Group, Mr. Joe Shaw.
Thank you, Josh. I'm Joe Shaw. Thank you for coming out tonight for the debate, and we're going to move briskly because I think everybody wants to get right into it. So I will tell you that our debates are a little different from some other organizations' debates. We're going to give, in each of the two debates, the candidates will get 2 minutes opening and a 2-minute closing. They will go in alphabetical order to open and reverse alphabetical order to close. In between, when we're asking questions, we actually don't have time limits on questions and answers. It's meant to be more free-form and meant to be more of a conversation, particularly about the town clerk race, because frankly, there aren't a whole lot of issues to talk about in the town clerk race. So I want to bring out the two candidates for town clerk. We have Michael Hansen, who's the Democratic candidate, and Jeff Miller, who's the Republican candidate. Gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight, guys. So as I said, we're going to have a 2-minute opening and a 2-minute closing from each of you. First off will be Mr. Hansen. We'll go alphabetical order, so you get to go first. 2 minutes for an opening.
Thank you very much. My name is Michael Hansen. I live right here in Wainscott. And I'm running for town clerk, which is really amazing. I've been endorsed by the East Hampton Democratic Party, all of them, and the Working Families Party. My wife, Jess, is a field manager at Amber Waves Farm, and we are raising 3 children right here, and we could not be happier. Our children are thriving in Wainscott, and it's a beautiful thing. I am a former member of the Wainscott Citizen Advisory Committee and the East Hampton Town Energy and Sustainability Committee, and I am a current member of the East Hampton Town Planning Board, which I've been on for 4 years. My professional background is that of tech consulting, website development, and I've been doing that for over 20 years, and I have clients right here in Wainscott at the Friends of Georgia Capon Foundation, and all the way to the Montauk Historical Society, the Montauk Community Church, Springs Food Pantry, East Hampton Historical Museum, Sag Harbor Historical Museum, East Hampton Historical Society, and there are many others. So with campaigning, you talk about yourself a lot, and you boast about yourself a lot, perhaps an unhealthy amount. And I've got one more in me, if I can stand it. With my community engagement, with my work on the planning board, and with my website consulting, tech consulting.
That is 2 minutes, Michael, so I'd ask you to wrap up.
I'm wrapping up right now.
Go ahead.
With my community engagement, with planning board, with my professional work experience, and just computer literacy, I feel I'm uniquely qualified to be the next town clerk. And early voting begins October 25. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller, 2 minutes, a little bit over. I'll give you a little extra.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me, and thank you for coming this evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jeff Miller. I am a 13th generation Bonnaker. I grew up in Springs and still reside in Springs, where I live with my wife. We raised our 2 girls there, one who both live in Syracuse at this time. One is a pre-K teacher, and the other one is in college to become a registered nurse. My community involvement has been a lifelong deal. As I said, I went to spring school, graduated from East Hampton High School in 1988. I've been a member of the Springs Fire Department for more than 35 years, including 7 years in the Chief's office. I served on the East Hampton Town Little League Board for 9 years, including 2 years as president. I also served on the executive board for the Fire Department Benevolent Association for 10 years and 5 years as president. I was a Springs Youth Association volunteer for many, many years. I served on the Springs School Board for years. And basically, my entire life has been about public service. I just retired last month after working for 36 years for the Village of East Hampton in the Department of Public Works. I started from a newbie all the way up to a heavy equipment operator by the time I was done.
That's it. You got a little more time. All right. So, gentlemen, let's dive in. And, as I said in introducing you, it's kind of an interesting race because there's not a lot of issues to talk about with the town clerk, but I think what's fascinating is Carol Brennan will be retiring after many years in the job, and one of you will be taking over fresh, going into the job. So I guess my first question for each of you, and Michael, I'll start with you, is what are you doing to prepare to serve as town clerk? What steps are you taking personally to get ready for the job?
This is very similar to a question that Jack Motz asked me. What I'm doing to prepare is being a student, studying the code, studying the website, studying other municipalities and how they manage things like online permits. These are the steps that I'm taking.
Okay, Mr. Miller?
Well, I'll go right back to my entire adult life I've spent preparing for something such as this. Chief of the Fire Department, I've got 80 members in there, anywhere from 80 to 100 members, different personalities you have to deal with and make them mesh in a happily cohesive unit. You learn the people you have to coddle, you learn the people you have to prod. So the clerk's job is a lot of multitasking between permits, getting departments to work, cohesively, and it's a people management job. Yes, there are technical aspects to the job, but you are basically the administrator for town hall. The clerk is the face of town hall, and the clerk's office is the nerve center. Everyone has to come through there at some point in time. The clerk should obviously have technical skills, as Mr. Hansen was saying, but that's just a small part of the job. There are so many things that you have to deal with as a clerk, and being a people person is probably right at the top of the list because of the different clientele you're dealing with and the different aspects you're dealing with. Another one I feel is my strong point is I'm fully versed in the NIMS, which is the National Incident Management System, which was a system incorporated after 2001, after 9/11, that was set up from a large government operation all the way down to the smallest of agencies that have to learn to work together as one, all speaking a common language. And this is part of the deal of the clerk's office. You have to take every department within the town and make them work as one.
Okay. Michael, let me give you a chance to...
So I don't disagree with that. It definitely is a partnership, and you're collaborating with groups. But this is an information management job. This is information comes in, information is stored, and information is disseminated, like FOIL requests. So it is important to be a people person, but what I want to do with the town clerk's office is utilize online applications for your recycle permit, for example, so that you can do that online, you can pay it online with a credit card, so you don't have to come in. And when there are fewer people in line, it makes for a calmer working environment in the town clerk's office.
So, Jeff, let me ask you, I want to ask you both this, but I'll ask you first. Why has the town not taken such a basic step to take a lot of the permitting process online and to allow the town to, for instance, to use a credit card to make payments, which I still don't think you can do through the clerk's office?
At this time, you can't.
Why is that? Why is the clerk's office been
there
unable?
are certain adherences the municipalities have to make that not just any retail place can use. I've had a couple conversations with Sunday Schurmeyer over in Southampton Town because they've just recently started to go through this process. And it's my hope that it's not going to happen overnight. This is something that has never been done here. Other municipalities are starting to implement it, but municipalities have different adherence laws they must go through as far as just regular retail stores and such. So I would love to see it implemented, and I truly hope to do it. But I will be honest with you, it's not going to happen overnight. But I am going to push very strongly for us to be able to go this route with the town at both different payment methods and different permitting processes. But it's not going to happen overnight.
Is that fair, Michael?
So when I meet with a client for the first time, I ask the client, what is good and what can be better? So what do you have that's good on your website? What's working and what can be better? And I put that question to the town clerk's office. So what is good is Carol Brennan. When you have a conversation with her, you immediately learn her passion and dedication to the job. What else is good is the staff and their institutional knowledge. It's an incredible resource, and we should all be happy for it. What can be better is expanding the payment choices, enhancing the website. Other municipalities, Southampton, Southold, East Hampton Village, already have these tools in place, online permitting and licensing. What's also interesting about those three municipalities, they all three use different products, different companies to manage that. So there is probably a whole range, scores of applications that we can use to put this online. Is it going to happen overnight? No, but you know what else? It can happen overnight. It can. It is possible to do this because it's being done right now.
Jeff, you want to add anything to add?
I've been involved with government entities for 35 years between the fire department, school district. Nothing in the government happens overnight. Plain and simple. Yes, it's a good word, but government work is glacial. And I applaud you for saying it can happen overnight, but I'm telling you it's a big fat no.
I'm on the East Hampton Planning Board, so I know that things move slowly. And, you know, a good part of my background is that I'm not in government, right? I'm bringing a private sector approach to this. And this can be done. This can be done in a rapid manner, in a sensible manner.
Let me change gears a little bit and ask you a question. And Jeff, I'll start with you. One of the issues that will be really important for us and for the public at large is freedom of information requests. And I can tell you that in Southampton Town in particular, and in Southampton Village and in many of the other municipalities that we cover, it's become a real problem in that not just media, but also people in the public file a lot of FOIL requests these days. And the clerk's offices and other departments that have to respond to those often are telling us we simply don't have the resources to respond to those requests in a hurry. Now, you're talking to a journalist who's on stage with you. You're both going to say that you're very much in favor of the freedom of information laws, so we'll take that as written. But I want to know what you both are going to do to assure that members of the public, members of the press will be able to file freedom of information law requests and have them responded to in a reasonable period of time. So Jeff, I'll have you go first.
First thing I'm going to say is with any political office, I will not make any promises because that doesn't work. I will do my best, and one of the things I've in part of my presentation is the town needs to do a better effort to bring all of their records on to the actual facility where town hall and the property it's on. They need to build a secure facility to both protect and what's the verbiage I'm looking for? To basically keep everything protected and safe in a, and there's stuff that's on shelves in leather-bound editions. There's stuff at the library. They need to bring everything on property. We need to get it digitized to be able to access it when information is either needed for clarity or for some kind of issue that needs resolution.
Michael?
So right now, the process for FOIL of information on the East Hampton Town Clerk site is you download a PDF, you can print it out, or I guess you can print it out, you can scan it, and then you email it back to the town clerk. That's a little bit cumbersome, right? So there are applications that can make this process move forward. It's still the town clerk who must approve this. So how do you minimize the workload of the town clerk? Maybe we automate licenses and permits and other things to make it more convenient for the people of the community.
What is a reasonable period of time that somebody from the public should be expected to wait for an answer for a FOIL request?
That's a question I want to ask you. What do you think is a reasonable amount of time?
What do you think is a reasonable amount?
We can go back and forth. I will have to.
What's the longest? Let's put it that way. What do you think the longest that someone should wait for, even a complicated Freedom of Information request to be replied to?
I'm not a journalist, so I can say I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I would say under a month, right?
I was going to say 30 days.
Yeah.
Okay. And will you both put resources towards that? I mean, I think it's part of the problem is it does take human beings to actually fulfill a lot of those requests. How do you address that? I mean, would you be willing to make the case that is it important enough to add staff for that?
I'm not the town clerk right now, so the next town clerk's going to get a great education on what needs to be done.
Sure.
So,
Jeff?
I'm just going to add to Michael that that's going to be a kind of a trial by fire and learn as you go along. You know, I said, those people in there do a tremendous job with what they've got. And as you stated, FOIA requests are becoming at a much higher frequency now. It's just one of those things. It's the nature of the beast nowadays.
and my understanding is that right now, the town clerk is following the FOIL request law, right? It could be smoother, it could be quicker, but they are adhering to the law as it is written.
So you both talk about putting the office more online and having people to be able to access information and to provide financial information online. That raises a whole lot of questions, though, about security. So what will each of you do to make sure that that information is protected? You want to go first, Michael?
Yeah. So a question when you look at documents, records of the town, it is far safer to store these documents in a cloud server than in the office. So step one is utilize these tools that are available to us, and a cloud server is a minimal cost, right, to store all that information. So that's very important. You know, every application I've used has strong security. Where the breaches happen is kind of in basic things with a weak password, right? Phishing, people fooled by phishing scams. I just did a little, I'm part of the planning board, so I get these emails about things to look out for, phishing scams and other scams to look out for. And one of them was a QR code, right? So educating which they're already getting it, but educating the users of the product to be aware of this, right? To be aware of phishing scams. So it's education, use a strong password. Right now, cloud servers, again, are stronger than the server that is in the office.
Okay. Jeff?
And really, in addition to what Michael said, the next clerk is probably going to have to sit down with department heads and limit the access to just people who really need to see this. That Michael will tell you, being a computer man, that too many chefs will ruin the recipe, for lack of better terms. But what he stated is right along the lines. But cloud servers governments use them everywhere. Obviously, there are situations, and it happens, but that is probably the most secure path that the town will be able to go in reference to safeguarding the records.
I want to ask you both. Jeff, you had mentioned the historic documents that the town has. What's your plan for protecting those for history? I mean, both Southampton and East Hampton towns are rare municipalities that have some amazing historical documents. What are you going to do to protect those?
Like I stated before, I truly feel that the town should build a secure facility on site to store these records and artifacts, for lack of a better term, but what they are. Some of these are dating back to the 1800s, and obviously limit access to them, and unless you absolutely need them. But I think there should be a secure on-site facility at Town Hall to safeguard these items.
Michael?
I'm glad Jeff agrees with what I've been saying all along. That we need a safe and secure location, because they are right now at the East Hampton Town Library, and there's great archivists there, but still, this is East Hampton Town property. And they have been scanned, and you can access them all on that digital library website. I went through there, and it's great to see, but not all of the documents have been scanned, right? So there are still some, I think they're in Carol Brennan's office, that still need some care. A longer term, a long-range plan is, you look at these scans, and they're from the 1692 or something, and it's just a picture of an image. It's a picture of text, and it's hard to search this, right? So I think we need to invest a little bit and some OCR and convert that image of text into actual text that can be searched and accessed, and a resource for all of us.
What is OCR?
Optical character recognition.
So in that case, you would scan a document in and be able to search it, the content
It would
of that
convert
document.
it would convert the text into readable, or not readable, but scannable text, yes.
Okay. Michael, Jeff brought this up, that whoever goes into that office is taking over a department that's been run for many years by Carol, and you're going to need to very quickly become the leader of that department. What are the qualities that you bring to the table that make you that leader?
So I have a business degree that I got in 1989, and I have a master's degree in early childhood education that I got in 2016, when I was working as the website administrator at Bank Street College of Education, and I would take classes at night. Now, I took these classes out of intellectual curiosity, out of better informing the work I do as a website administrator, and I also had a child there. I'm a lifelong learner, and this is a quality I think it takes to be the next town clerk.
Jeff?
As I stated before, I have been either president or chief of organizations that have 80 to 100 people. Little League has 600 people. I was president of Little League. I basically had, and my 35 years at the Village, I dealt with the public every day. I have no problem being in charge of people. I have no problem with people being in charge of me. But I have always done very well with working with other people and having to be in charge of them or taking direction. I'm a people person who has 35 years of public service, knowing how to deal with every kind of happy or unhappy individuals.
Michael, do you have experience managing people? Can you talk about that?
When I was at Bank Street College, we instituted a brand-new website, and the staff was very familiar with the old website. So I spent a good deal of time training every staff member. I would have a classroom of 40 people, and then I would follow them to their computers and provide one-on-one training for them. This is my training in managing people.
One last question before we go to closings. What do you think, and I'll start with you, Jeff, what do you think is the town clerk's role in making policy at town hall?
You don't. Clerk is a policy adherence job. You have statutes that are set by New York State, laws that are set by Suffolk County, and policies that are set by the town of East Hampton. You must work within those statutes, policies, and laws. You are there to help give guidance. People come in, ask for information, you give that. But as far as policy, you don't make it. You adhere to it.
Michael, do you agree with that? Is there a role for the town clerk in policymaking?
Well, the town clerk, in a way, has made some policy, like we're going to refrain from using online tools to register for recycle permits, right? That's a town clerk policy, right? I want to change that policy. But again, the policymakers are in the room here.
And let me ask a question a slightly different way. Do you think you provide, as town clerk, do you think there's information you can be providing to the town board in making policies? Like what role do you think you have? Would you stay away from doing that? Or is that something you'd engage in? Go ahead, Mike.
It is a partnership, and it is, you collaborate with the residents of the town, you collaborate with different departments in town hall, like the finance department, which is very important, and you collaborate with the town board. For example, building a structure to preserve these documents. Well, you have to work with them to negotiate the capital planning budget, right? Let's find some way to do that. So you're not on an island, right? You have to work with these folks to get these things for the betterment of the town clerk's office.
Jeff, I'll give you the last word here.
The clerk is the face of town hall. Basically, town hall is the nerve center. People come through there, and that's as close as I'm going to say 80% of the general public gets to seeing or speaking to a town board member. Basically, if the general public has a problem, they come into the clerk's office. The clerk will either give them the answer they need, or myself as clerk will get back to you as soon as possible with the best answer I can give you. But also, being that person that the public comes in to see as the clerk, you can convey these messages to the town board members because you basically have a path to them, because you're all working in the same building and you're all working on the same process. I mean, we're all here for East Hampton is really what it boils down to, and the clerk is the face of town hall.
Okay. All right, we'll go to closings then. In your closings, I hope both of you will help the voters of East Hampton to understand what they need to know in making a decision like this, because I do think it's a difficult choice to choose from two brand-new candidates running for a town office like this. So in your closing, help the voters figure out what they need to know to
I already
make that
wrote my
choice.
closing, Joe.
Well, you can do both of those things. I'll give you 2 minutes. Jeff, you go first.
As I was stating, the clerk is the face of town hall. And in closing, I basically am speaking to you as someone who has been here my entire life. This town has been my entire life. I went to school here. I, have served in countless community organizations and programs. And really, in closing, I'm going to give you a comment from a friend of mine who, when I announced that I was going to run for town clerk, his comment back to me was, it's funny you're coming out with this message now because myself and all of our friends knew that you were suited for this role when we were kids. And whether you win or lose, he goes, you're not the loser. If you're not the clerk, East Hampton Town is the loser, is what he said to me. And he doesn't even deal with any politics, so this is what he said to me. So in closing, I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff.
I guess I'm the loser here.
Go ahead, Michael. You have 2 minutes.
I just want to say one thing about my family history, which goes back to the 1600s. And my father is very proud of this and always reminds us to say this. I am the direct descendant of Ezekiel Sanford, the bridge builder, who built in 1696 the bridge from whence Hampton got its name. So we've been here a while, and we're still here. It has been an honor to run. It is a great component of American democracy, and I'm happy to do this, even though I'm a little exhausted by it all. It is especially a great honor to work with these slate of candidates from Kathy Burke-Gonzalez, Kate Rogers, Ian Calder-Piedmont, John Aldred, Tim Garneau, David Cataletto, Celia Josephson, Stephen Lynch, Ann Welker, Eugene Pasquale, all of them. I am happy to be a part of this team. Thank you.
I hope you'll join me in thanking both candidates. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. We will take a couple of minutes to switch over, and we'll be right back.